In December of 2010, my wife Teresa and I decided to invite our children and grandchildren that were in the area to attend at our parish the 4 o'clock Christmas Eve Mass. Some of them even volunteered, well, Mom and Dad, we know that the church will be full, so we'll go over at 3 o'clock and save you both a seat. Now, there's 17 of us all together. Figured they could fill up a pew. You can't imagine how shocked I was. Teresa and I walked into the parish at 3:30, and our kids were seated in the last row, and they weren't able to save a seat for us. That's how full the church was, an hour before the celebration of the Eucharist. Our son Michael got up and gave the seat to Teresa, and I stood at the back of the church, right against the wall. And that was a new, and I must say, a wonderful experience for me. As I looked out over the congregation in the church, it was late in the afternoon, but it had been a sunny day, and on the west side of our church, beautiful stained glass windows, and the sunlight was coming through, and it was one of those visions of, you've seen it, I know, sun into stained glass windows. Beautiful, beautiful coloration. And then I focused on the altar, and there were the candles lit, the lights were shining down, the flowers, the poinsettia plants. It's almost surreal, the way the color was, and just the beauty that just standing in the back, and it was, as I said, a new experience for me. I looked around in the congregation. There were grandparents, there were parents, children, newborn infants. They were all dressed in their Sunday best. And they looked so happy and joyful, and they were communicating with each other respectfully. They knew they were in the house of the Lord. And the choir started singing Christmas carols. Just a very moving experience. Our pastor came out, and he had this big smile on his face. You could tell he was game on. He was ready for the greatest celebration of Christmas Eve that he ever experienced. At the homily, he invited the children to come up to sit around the altar. And he told the story of the gift from God of Jesus Christ to each and every one of us. Now, he was talking to the children, but believe me, his homily impacted every one of us. At the offertory, when he held the host up, again, I was sort of in the middle of the church, so I was looking straight at him at the host, and first time in my life, I saw behind him on the wall of the church, the other end of the church, was a life-size cross and a crucifixion of Christ. And it just hit me. I'm here to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, but I'm not even bringing any gifts. But he is giving from God to us, the Son, and the greatest gift that we can ever receive in the Eucharist. After communion, I was standing there, and I closed my eyes to reflect for a few moments, and I just felt overwhelmed with the beauty of this experience that I was having. I said to myself, why can't Mass be like this every Sunday? Jam-packed, faith-filled, vibrant church. And it dawned on me, if an event can happen once, it can be duplicated. It can happen twice. It can happen 3 times. Why not Christmas every Sunday in our churches? And I believe in my heart that each and every one of us can make that happen, that dream become a reality.